At first, I wanted to stick with Media Morgue as the title of the series, but there's a podcast currently going with the same name. What other names besides Morgue can I use? Media... Mortuary? I guess it'll do. Anyway, Tweety Bird is a VHS compilation tape made back in 1988 by a company called Star Classics. This tape, and others like it, are very cheaply made, copied from other random sources, and are usually in low quality. This slipcover here is lifted from the cartoon, as somewhat indicated here. Actually, looking across the whole slipcover, you notice various descriptions that are somewhat confusing, like high-quality VHS color. Now these are supposedly the 4 cartoons that are featured on this VHS tape. Take good note of them, because the tape itself has absolutely no label or indication to what it is. So if you lose the cover or it gets damaged, you're left with a pretty blank tape. Nonetheless, we are going to find all the best ways to legitimately watch these cartoons and figure out just how obsolete this tape really is. The first cartoon featured in this tape is A Tale of Two Kitties, a Merry Melodies cartoon that was released in 1942 and directed by Bob Clampett. It's about these 2 cat caricatures, Babbitt and Costello, which is a parody of Abbott and Costello, just trying to eat a bird out of a tree and failing numerous times. That's it. Plot's really simple. This cartoon is notable for being the first design and debut of Tweety, the little canary bird, and the oh-so-iconic line,
"I thought I saw a pussy cat. I did. I saw a pussy cat."
Tweety's a bit more violent and aggressive in these early versions. Here is where the slipcover of the VHS is lifted. It looks like they just traced over this frame and made Tweety really white in this for some reason. Moving on, the main characters are these cats, and to be honest, I don't really like the Costello character. Now, I haven't seen a whole lot of Abbott and Costello sketches, but I don't think Costello was ever this loud and obnoxious. Anyways, the rest of the public didn't care for them that much because Tweety kind of stole the show and went on to become a very popular character. But for the people that do like these cats, this cartoon has had several modern releases. In 2007, this cartoon was remastered and released on DVD in Volume 5 of the Looney Tunes Golden Collection, and also in the Spotlight Collection. The Spotlight Collection only has the cartoon, but the Golden Collection has the special features and commentary. In 2011, it was later released on Blu-ray in Volume 1 of the Looney Tunes Platinum Collection, but good luck finding that, as that collection is pretty expensive online. But the budget-friendly DVD Golden Collection is great for the commentary, but if you want, this cartoon is also available on Boomerang and HBO Max. It's great to see a cartoon that's officially available in a variety of ways, but the rest of these cartoons didn't get the same treatment.
Turn out those lights!
The next cartoon is Hittin. Wait a minute. Actually, it's Helter Swelter. Saving the best for last, I see. Anyways, Helter Swelter is a cartoon released in 1950 and directed by Seymour Natel? Sorry if I'm not saying that right. But this cartoon here in particular is part of a revival series that was produced by Paramount, and they took the animation to 6 to 7 minutes and just have the first half of the cartoon be about the setting or theme, which in this case the summer, with some nameless cartoon characters doing some activities, and the later half be the actual sing-along with a song that's popular at the time. Not much else is known about this cartoon other than the song featured here is In the Good Old Summertime by Ren Shields and George Evans. At least that's all the info I could find when doing research for this. The cartoon is alright. I mean, I wouldn't really seek this cartoon out to watch, but unfortunately, what you're seeing now is just about the same quality as you can get on any other VHS tape. You can definitely find this on the internet, but it would most likely be from some other VHS tape. There's never been an official release, which isn't surprising given Paramount Pictures not really caring about cartoons like these. But I assume this cartoon is on public domain, and the song featured here has been published over 100 years ago, so maybe it's okay to share. I'll see if I can find a link to a good one in the description. The next cartoon is Robin Hood Makes Good, a Merry Melodies cartoon released in 1939 and directed by Chuck Jones. This cartoon is about 3 squirrels reading the book Robin Hood, and the youngest squirrel wanting to play pretend.
Look, fellas, let's play like the Robin Hood's merry men. I'll be Robin Hood.
The other older squirrels bully him into being the bad guy so they can win in the end. While the squirrels were playing, a fox lures the 2 older squirrels into a cabin, and it's up to the youngest squirrel to rescue them. This cartoon is really cutesy and maybe uncomfortably detailed in a couple shots.
March through the forest with your treasure, and we'll rob you and give it to the poor. Won't that be fun?
But still pretty fun overall. I would have liked it if there was a little more subtle details of the younger squirrels using voice skills before the rescue scene. I also really like the backgrounds in this cartoon, which you can see in stunning HD quality in the restored version of this cartoon on HBO Max. Yes, the only way to see the restored version, well, other than maybe a YouTube video somewhere, is on HBO Max. Too bad, because the latest physical release is on Volume 2 of the Golden Age of Looney Tunes on Laserdisc. Other than that, no other official releases have been found. Well, actually, I guess technically speaking, this cartoon is featured as maybe bonus material on other DVDs and Blu-rays. This one in particular has the unrestored Turner version on Laserdisc, so you won't be able to find a legitimate physical copy for yourself, but in terms of just the animation, you might be able to find it on YouTube. I'll see if I can get a good one and put it in the description. The last cartoon is Hittin the Trail for Hallelujah Land. This Merry Melodies cartoon was released in 1931 and directed by Rudolph Isaac. The original cartoon is in black and white. I'm not sure why it's brown on this VHS. The other cartoons didn't have much of a brown tint to it, well, except for maybe Helter Swelter. So maybe Star Classes had a bad copy of this cartoon. Anyway, this cartoon starts with some rather interesting characters singing on a boat. Everything's bouncing to the music, typical 1930s animation, and Oh. Right. Well, anyway, Uncle Tom here is taking the girl character named Fluffy to catch the boat, driven by the clearly not Mickey Mouse character named Piggy. Anyway, she gets on the boat, says her goodbyes. And the people on the boat are just moving and grooving, jiving perhaps. But back to Uncle Tom, he ends up in a graveyard somehow with another familiar setting.
Yo!
Well, I mean, never mind the dancing skeletons. This scene reminds me of another cartoon. The way everything is just plopped into this graveyard together and he's like,
Yo!
and they're like,
Oh, yeah.
oh wait, no, that's Swing You Sinners, released a year earlier. Well, Uncle Tom escapes, but ends up almost drowning and Piggy dives in to save him. And then this random villain shows up and tries to kidnap Fluffy. Piggy then runs back and catches the villain, and wasn't he the one driving the boat this whole time? They lower the villain into some saw blades, they laugh, and then it kind of just abruptly ends. Yeah, this cartoon is kind of all over the place. But where can one find their own official copy? You can't. This cartoon is part of the Censored 11, a group of Looney Tunes and Merry Melody cartoons that can't be distributed or aired because the cartoons depict various ethnic stereotypes, especially African American. Now, a lot of cartoons of this time have their fair share of blackface jokes, but those jokes were hardly part of the story and could be removed without much of an issue. But in cartoons like this one, the stereotype is too prominent, and removing it would take out too much of the plot, as messy as the plot is in this cartoon. So even if they wanted to, they probably couldn't, both in the sense of whatever legal distribution rights they have, but more importantly, it'd just be a PR nightmare. But they did think of it at one point. It would be interesting to see restored versions of this cartoon, like here. This one you are seeing here is off of Wikipedia. At any rate, Hittin the Trail for Hallelujah Land is one of, if not the tamest of the Censored 11. It can get pretty wild for the others. And to think, this was supposed to be all about Tweety, right? Remember that? So let's recap. Tweety Bird, 1988, has 4 cartoons featured on this tape. A Tale of Two Kitties, which you can find in Volume 5 of Looney Tunes Golden Collection, or Volume 1 of the Looney Tunes Platinum Collection on Blu-ray. You can also find it on HBO Max and Boomerang. The second cartoon, Helter Swelter, has no official release, nor any unofficial fan restorations. The third cartoon, Robin Hood Makes Good, which can be found in Volume 2 of the Golden Age of Looney Tunes on Laserdisc, but the restored version is only on HBO Max. And Hittin the Trail for Hallelujah Land, which is censored but can be found on Wikipedia. Overall, all of these cartoons can be found in some capacity online, like YouTube, but only one of them can be legally owned, physically in a restored quality. 3 of them have been restored, but only for streaming services. But this tape here is pretty poor quality, so I feel that it is obsolete. So into the box, and off it goes to Goodwill. Thanks for watching.